Welcome back to the Peak Archery Podcast, the podcast designed to provide information to and from the best bow hunters, archers, professional archers, coaches that allows you to peak when is necessary to be successful in archery. On this episode, episode 26, is with Jack Wallace. Jack has been around the game a long time. He's a bow hunter. He's a professional archer, primarily 3D shooter, but he does shoot indoor. And, that's what keeps the lights on. And Jack's gone through some changes and has moved to a new company and wanted to talk about it. There's big moves happening in archery, kind of always, but right now, a big one with PSE. And, this is an opportunity for Jack to sort of talk about how that stuff goes down and why, and, kind of talk about navigating it a little bit. I'm excited for Jack's future. He's moving to a wonderful company, and this episode is all about that. So thanks for following. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, to all the podcast platforms. And don't hesitate to reach out if there's a topic that you would like to hear discussed in regards to competition archery, the performance approach to archery. Reach out. If we'll find a person that best fits the mold to have that conversation. So thanks for watching or listening. Have a good day.
You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it.
All right, here we go. Well, welcome back to the Peak Archery Podcast, everyone. I am here with the man with the most beautiful freaking goatee I've ever seen, Mr. Jack Wallace. Listen, everybody knows I'm a fireman. You have a goatee of a fireman. You should be a firefighter. I'm telling you. It's so well groomed. I hit my mic. So well groomed. I'm extremely jealous. But anyways, what's that?
It might pay better, and chicks did that and stuff.
Look
I
at
see
that,
you
man.
guys
That's
in
so
supermarkets.
nice.
Like all the girls flock to you guys in the super.
Well, people wonder why firemen don't have them. The reason we don't have them is because when we wear a mask, we need to be able to get a seal. So we can't have beards and all that other stuff. So technically yours is a little long for NFPA regulations, but I won't call you out on that because you're not wearing air packs and stuff. So anyways, man, welcome. It's nice to see you again. We did a podcast once a time ago under the Archery Coach Cast, and now it's the Peak Archery Podcast. Just remember, this podcast is a platform for everyone, professional shooters. It's about being, what do you have to do, decisions you have to make, things you need to do to be at the peak of your game. Archery, bow hunting, competition archery, 3D archery, doesn't matter. Coaching, doesn't matter. And the reason that Jack and I decided we were messaging and we knew some announcements were coming. And I reached out, I was like, hey man, you want to talk about it? Let's put it out there for the masses so that your words are conveyed in the way that this is, this next chapter is written in your life. And so I guess, dude, what's up? What's going on? New things have come to the horizon.
At this point, it's not a big secret that PSE's been up for sale for a long time. They've had a lot of interested buyers, but I guess for them, the right person had to come along at the right time and the right help and the right support. And it just so happens it fell on a contract year for Sharon and myself. So when we were evaluating everything, I do this every so many years. I will try one of just about every bow there is out there because I want to compete at the best of my ability, and I want to know what I'm up against. I want to know how all the bows shoot, feel, tune. It's only right that Sharon does the same thing. That's what we do. That's how we pay the light bill. And of course, there may be salaried things into account, but then there's contingencies. and whatnot. So there was a whole lot of things for both of us to look at. And I took in a lot of advice from people in the industry that I respect very, very much, from, manufacturers, company owners, to other shooters that I compete against every other weekend. And they said, well, you guys are going to have to really look at everything and see what's how this new transition's coming with the company. And who knows, you guys might both be on the same team. You might be on different teams. You never know what's going to happen. Got to look out for what's best for both of you. So that's what we decided to do. We did get in pieces of equipment from different manufacturers. We did look at them, and we did have multiple offers on the table from everybody, including PSE. But again, it's not a big secret. PSE is being bought, new owner, and having some new people in place, basically acting as, I guess, temporary COOs. I don't know of anybody, even at the factory, that lost a job. I don't know of anybody that was fired or anything like that. But I know that they were going to be in a rebuilding phase for a while and completely changing how business is done over there. And just looking at all of it, I had some equipment in the past that I liked very much, that fit me, fit my body, fit my style. And I was really happy about it, and had some stuff of late that was harder for me to get along with. So it was a great time for me to experiment and look and see what was out there. And it was probably not a surprise to most people. It was a natural fit that I went with Randy Kitts and the Dart and Bows. Anybody that knows, like, Randy and my background, I've known him for a lot of years. I've shot the Black Eagle Airs for a long time. I've shot, Conquest stabilizer bars, and Randy was at my wedding. That goes back, and so that's a big deal. And I know that so many people here, they're probably newer to archery. They probably weren't shooting archery in 1982 like I was. But when you look at the Darton company, Darton's history, their previous owner, inventor, Rex Darlington, Rex holds the patents on just about everything that's cam related in archery. I mean, just about everything. And people have no idea. They don't know this. If it's a hybrid, if it's a binary, if it's a yoked binary, and it's got all these different issues, if it's got wheels and it goes around in circles on a bow, Rex Darlington and Darton own it. And that's kind of why you haven't seen Darton bows in a long time. Like when I was a kid in IBO, Darton was the fastest stuff out there. Darton bows won a lot of IBO tournaments. They had stuff like the Lightning way back when that was very, very fast, and it gave you a competitive edge. Well, when all those royalties started coming in for Darton, they stepped away from the manufacturing at the level that they once were, and the timing was just right. Rex was probably ready to kind of start stepping away. And then you got somebody like Randy Kitts comes in, owning Black Eagle and Conquest. And he's had so much success there. It was just the right person at the right time. So when he took over Darton, that opened a lot of new possibilities, a lot of new doors. And here's somebody I've known forever. I've got history with, I trust, the industry trusts, a lot of history. It just made sense that we could join up and be together. And I tested the bows and shot some different models and did some different things, and was very, very happy. I felt comfortable. I felt safe. So it was just the right thing at the right time, right decision.
So it really sounds like it was an easy decision. And knowing Randy and the Black Eagle brand and what they've done with Black Eagle, and their acquisition of Darton, like it didn't, and add Conquest into the mix. Like there's definitely, they know how to make archery fun, and they know how to support shooters. They're good people. You just can't go wrong. And I'm not I'm not saying that like PSE doesn't do that at all. I'm just saying, and I don't even know in regards to new owners. I wish everyone the best of luck. We need archery manufacturers to be successful in this.
I do too. I wish them the greatest of
So
luck.
just
I have
put that
no
out there. Yeah.
I got no background with them. I got no history with
Yeah.
them, and they have a lot of decisions to make and a lot of things that they're going to have to do business wise now during their their changeover phase and rebuilding phase. And I thought this is a perfect time for me to grow with Darton and show everybody where they can go, and it'll be I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I think it is too. I'm excited to see how you get along with the bows, which is what we're going to get into here. Well, a little bit. I'm excited to see how that goes because you've shot a little bit of everything. You're a very adaptable shooter, so it's going to be exciting to see. And I think seeing someone like you with a Darton, it's bringing Darton up another level to, and it's going to put Darton in front of more people. And I love seeing them grow. So I was shooting back in 1982. You're a little older than me, but I was only, you're gonna age yourself a little bit here. I was only 6 years old in 1982.
Okay.
But I was shooting. I actually shot my first tournament at 6 years old. So I was around. I saw that Darton phase when Darton really blew up. I'm going to say
early 90s,
early
probably.
90s,
Got
yeah,
really
early 90s, mid 90s into the late 90s. And they've been ahead of the industry in many ways for a very long time.
People just
And
have no idea their cams are on just about every bow you shoot, and
it's
almost
crazy. People don't know that. That's and I'll tell you, I have an affliction for like archery history and that stuff. Like I love that little stuff. I've been around the sport my entire life, and just in the background, but always watching it and understanding it and seeing this stuff. And it's just so cool to see this resurgence of Darton. I'm so happy for everyone and Randy and company at Black Eagle and
competition's a great thing.
I love it, dude.
It pushes everybody. It's all really good.
Agreed.
And it's funny because of all the posts and the releases and everything I've seen, and there were a lot of likes, a lot of comments. I appreciated all of them, and there was one or two that were money related, and that's really,
you said you wanted to comment.
Really is kind of funny because everybody does something to provide income to their home, family, whatever. But you'd have to ask yourself, is it always money? Well, some of these people say, oh yeah, it's always money. No, you could increase my pay 20% and I'm not going to drive back and forth through Atlanta every day. I'm not. There are some things that people need to take into account. It's your history with people. It's who you work with. It's what are the benefits? What's the comfortability? How do you feel? And as far as a tournament shooter, what do you feel the most competitive with? So if you've tested everything that's out or got to play with a couple of things that are coming, then you got to say, what can help get me to the final five? What can get me to shoot down rounds? What can get me on the podium? Because that's where you're worth the most. And then you're looking ahead to the future. Are there classes that are coming, changes that may be made? So it is not always about whatever the salary is or whatever the contract is. Everybody should, if they really think about it, that should make sense to them.
You have to do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Driving through Atlanta every day wouldn't make me happy. So
you have to do
not worth the difference in money.
Yeah, you have to be happy. You have to enjoy. I shoot for Hoyt. I love shooting for Hoyt. I love working with Doug Denton. I love, I shoot for Easton. I love working with those guys. Everybody has their niche and their thing. I'm a barebow guy. I'm not a compound guy anymore. I'm a barebow guy. I love barebow. I'm working with people who want to work with me. And then for people who, I don't do it as my job. I'm just a staff shooter. I don't do it as my job. I work as a teacher full time and I do the podcast. That's my thing. But if I didn't enjoy it, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing it. And, but with that being said, and we'll we'll move on from, because I want to talk about equipment. I want to know, and the people are going to want to know I'm sure maybe you haven't made a final decision going in indoor yet, but what's your equipment looking like right now? What are you leaning toward? What's your full setup as you move into preparation for indoor season?
I shot a little bit of everything they had. And for me, I don't have great big hands. I can't like palm a basketball or anything. So the Vegas 3D had the thinnest grip, had an angle that I liked on it. It had a little lip where I could put against the top of my hand. I didn't slip any further up into it. Mm-hmm. Fell in love with the grip on the Vegas 3D immediately. Tuning wise, it's interesting that the whole E series, I mean, if you get anything that acts like a binary that's yoked like that you can actually straighten your cam. Of course, it's got, spacers, and you can shift the cam left and right. Well, if you can adjust a bow to where it fits you, and then you shoot shots, I go through like torque tunes. I go through overpull, underpull. So basically, once it's set up and it fits me, I see, all right, well, if I do something wrong, how bad does it miss? And that's what I do with anything. Everything. It doesn't matter if I'm setting up the same company's bow or I'm building an ASA or an IBO or an indoor bow. If I make an oopsie, how ugly is it? And for me, on the Vegas 3D, the oopsies were better than I've seen in a lot of years. I seem to have been able to get away with a whole lot more. And it could have been a multitude of things. It may have been the string angle on my face. My draw length was really good. It could have been the adjustability of the cam. The cam's completely adjustable, any draw length, and then it's got little draw stop mods. I prefer to run cable stops. I think they seem to be way more forgiving than running anything on a limb stop for me. And just was really impressed with, I did torque tunes on the bow. It's a shoot through riser. Mm-hmm. I powder tested it, and I got no riser contact with any arrow I shot off of it. I shot 23s, 26s, and 27s, and different vein combinations, big veins, little, and I never had any riser contact. A lot of your folks out there, a lot of your fans, they may have a shoot through riser. Maybe they put foot powder spray on. They saw that they had riser contact. Well, with this one, I didn't. I found all these things to be huge pluses. And I thought, well, I like the stiffness of the riser, like the speed, like the adjustability of the cam. Once I agreed to go that direction, I know things that are coming, things in the future, great directions that things are going. It was great to feel part of that family. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to roll with this one and be prepared for the things that's coming. And it's been great. All the arrows I've tested in 3D, at 3D speeds, in the 290s, they've been great. It's been extremely forgiving for 23s, 26s. I'll more than likely go back to 26s this year. I'm able to with this bow.
Nice.
At my draw length and my poundage, I'm not going to shoot crazy pounds. I don't need to on this one. I'll probably run 64, 65 pounds for 3D. Probably run the Black Eagle PS 26.
Great arrow.
Leaning towards a 4 fletch at this point, and just decent point weight. It'd give me 8 or 10% front of center, and that's great for 3D. I'm good with that. And I gotta say, it's been a while since I've been excited about my practice and tinkering and playing. And
how many years have you been doing this?
Oh man, I don't know. I've shot since 82. I turned pro in 94 or 95.
And you're still getting excited about it, man. That's a big deal.
This one got me pretty excited.
It's good.
Yeah, I actually didn't have any special indoor arrows made up. And I haven't put this post up yet, but I ran to the indoor range last night, and I grabbed a handful of what Sharon had won the indoor nationals with. And that was just a Black Eagle PS 26. It was a 300 spine, 4 fletch. And they were shorter, for me. And I thought, close enough. It'll tune close enough. At least I'll get some paper. So I got it roughly sighted and shot the first 3 shots, took a picture after like 30 and my third target. And and I was very, very, very happy with it. I went up this morning, which was a bit of a mistake because Clemson, I live, really close to Clemson University. Well, they're playing at home today, so that was not an easy chore getting out of there to get back in time for the podcast. But I did shoot a lot of arrows this morning, and it never come close to leaving the 10 ring.
Nice, dude. That's outstanding.
It was
good for you, man. I'm so happy for you. You're such a nice guy. You give so much information. I know last year we ran into each other quick. You were doing a seminar at the classic, and like you were open about the information you put out there. You look to help people, you answer questions. You're going to a company who is just, they're not up and coming. They've been around, but they have new people leading the helm, and bringing you in is just adds value to Dart and Archery and the whole brand behind Black Eagle. So that's good, man. I'm excited to see you indoors. So you're going to be at the Classic then, right?
I'll be at the Classic. I told a fellow that was at the indoor range today, I take my 3D bow indoors. I'll throw a fat arrow on it and I'll just shoot it, and I'll see, can it do it? Can the bow and the system do its job? And if it does, and the rest of it's mental, and I don't get excited about the indoor. I don't get thrilled about the indoor.
It's not a
game plan. There's no strategy there. It's a different game. And I love all archery. I love it all. If you like Buckmasters, I love it. If you like field, I think that's super cool. Teach you how to shoot your bow. Indoors is in the mind. For instance, if you show up at the indoor tournaments with a bow that you think is tuned better than someone like a Chance Bobeth or a Jesse Broadwater or whatever, it's probably not going to help you. If your bow's tuned better, that's probably not going to save you. It's not about your bow being tuned. It's about the mental.
You got to tune this up here. And indoors definitely does that. So for you guys out there that are want to be up and coming shooters, you think that just shooting 3D all the time is the only way to prepare for 3D season, you need to go shoot some of these most difficult and highly coveted indoor tournaments, because it's a legit mental grind, and you need to learn to enjoy that.
And I do it just for that mental side. I want to see, can the equipment do it under pressure? When you hold on a little long, or you over pull, or you try to get too steady, and worrying about your aim. So if the equipment will do it, great. I do the Lancaster Classic because known Rob Kaufhold forever, and I believe it's the best indoor game there is. Anybody could win that game, qualify it, beat people through eliminations. Anybody could be there at the end, in theory. So, I think it's great. But past that, I will be, running the 3D areas and bringing the speed back up into the 90s, and especially just with all the new stuff going on. There's new targets being released in the ASA, new targets being released in the IBO. There's work to be done there, and it is a game plan and a strategy, and that's why 3D is my favorite. You can be having a little rough shooting day, but maybe have a great game plan. You might have a day where your yardage is great, but you're not shooting so well, and you'll know how to play your bow and play a little smarter, play a little safer. That's why I'm in love with that game, and why it relates to what we do in hunting and everything. I know everyone's a hunter, but
I am. Oh yeah. Can you see the wall?
There's times when you don't always get to range find every target, or there's times when something moves and something changes very, very quickly, and you have to make a shot. Well, pressure situations will help prepare your mind for it. 3D situations will help prepare your game plan, and knowing your sight, knowing your bow, knowing your equipment, knowing your pins. So
again, I'm a trad hunter, so it changes things. It makes life a little bit more difficult, but 100%. You're not wrong. You're spot on. More and more people should bow hunters should be shooting more and more 3D. Unfortunately, across the country, there is probably a vast majority that still just pick up the bow a month or two before the season. It's just the way it is. There's a lot more hunters out there than there are target shooters, especially competitive 3D shooters. And, it's just, the value in it is just, unimaginable. But so are you hunting? Are you hunting right now?
Getting ready to. I've got a lease. up north that got a couple of cellular cameras on and seeing some good animals come into. As far as Sharon and I here on the home front, I know that most people don't know, but it's been a little bit rough in the off season. I have a lab. He's like one of my best buddies. Had him for 9.5 years.
Oh,
He's a
man.
great friend, and he's got cancer pretty bad. So we've been going through some surgeries
Some
and
time.
treatments there. That's had me down a little bit. I got another good friend in archery, and a lot of folks know his little brother was killed in a motorcycle wreck here recent, and I had a cousin die of cancer here just very recently. So it has been a bit of a rough off season, especially with it in a contract year and some traveling and some other stuff going on. But we're there for each other, and we're making it through stuff and trying to get things taken care of. But I do hope to make it up north, chase some whitetails here soon, maybe have some luck on one of those leases, and same with wifey, and then when we get back, it'll be time to train and put things behind us.
Well, it sounds to me like, yes, you definitely have had a rough patch, and that you're starting to see maybe a turn of the positive with your move to Darton and Randy Kitts and company. I think that they and Randy's a God-fearing man, so I know that you're in good hands, and so maybe there's some manifest destiny going on right now.
There's a lot of trust there, and there's history, and there's
so happy for you.
A comfortability there, so I'm very happy about it.
Well, my from myself and the Peak Archery family, we just want to send you positive thoughts and prayers moving forward. I look forward to seeing you at the Classic and shaking your hand. I hope things go well and you get out to actually get some hunting in. I hope that if you need anything, let us know. And I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get Jack to send me a full list of his equipment, and I'm going to post the links in the information section, the comment section of this podcast on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff, so that people can go and see exactly what Jack's using to go into. We'll say 3D, because he's pretty much 3D is all year long for him indoors, just the training. So we'll put all that information so that all of the people who support you also can get some airtime and some exposure there, and we can take care of your sponsors just the same. Okay.
Appreciate that.
All right, man. Well, it was good talking to you. Good luck out there. If you shoot something, I want a picture. And good luck with Darton Archery.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And I am going to stop recording, I think.